Yep. Yep. I like that one. Yep. I was that. I think I like that one. Let's try this one. Hey, good morning, man. Or good evening if you're on Instagram. I like playing with these filters, man. See some different ways to do some stuff. Grand rising to you, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today. It's Money Motivation, which will be the presented by New Black Wall Street. While you guys are connected, man, let us know that you're here. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. It's a wonderful Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday. Last night we had a wonderful time. If you guys are part of the BBC, we had our weekly manifestation meetings, which are now probably called manifestation masterminds. Man, an absolutely wonderful time last night. Those are live broadcasts that we do off of social media, and it's not recorded. So you actually have to show up in order to get the benefits of what we're doing there, which is all about writing a vision down, making it plain, and planning our way to success. Give me just a second, guys. I'm just making sure I get my last little part set up, and then we'll get going this morning. While you guys are connected, man, hit the like button, the share button, the watch party button as well. What I will say this is that you're still here. And what a great time it is to be alive. So thank God that you are still here, that you have another opportunity to make it happen today. Give me just a second, man. I'm just going to start my watch party, and then we'll get this show on the road. Money motivation, guys. Today we'll be getting into our motivation for the day, and then we'll also continue along in our journey into the week 3 of the 52-week savings challenge. So hopefully, this will be a way to hold you accountable to actually building wealth, and the premise or the beginning of building wealth. Money motivation, guys. They will be getting into our motivation. The beginning of building wealth is to actually plant seeds into your bank account. Good morning to you, man. Alexis Holmes, thanks so much for joining. Miss Vivian Reed, thanks so much for being here with us today. Fantastic, man. Thank you guys for joining. Again, we do have a goal as well with our YouTube channel, which is to get over 1,000 subscribers. So we are just steadily making our way. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button on YouTube or subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you do that. That can be under ERGJ Enterprises in case you may happen to be on either one of our other platforms, which is Facebook or Instagram today. So we'll be broadcasting across all 3 today, Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube. And we're just ready to have an absolutely phenomenal time as we get our day started with money on our mind, but money on our mind, all I ever think of. Man, hey, it's time to get the show on the road, man. Y'all know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, real life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. It's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street. I am your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator and CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. That book there is a study of Black wealth. That's the book there is a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And we're actually currently going through this book on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, which actually returns tomorrow. But you can find that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com. That's right, theblackbillionairesclub.com. And we just truly believe, guys, that if you want to be wealthy, you should study wealthy people. Again, guys, you can pick up your copy by simply going to the website, thebybillionairesclub.com. That's right, thebybillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today. It's available in soft copy, also ebook. You can also find it in French in ebook and also audiobook. The Black Billionaires Club, a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. Pick up your copy today. Well, I want to send a shout out real quick to our sponsor for the day, which is Big Sis Media. That's right. Big Sis Media is a full service creative design agency with tools available to help clients communicate with audiences through visual and digital media. Now, Big Sis Media is what powers ERGJ Enterprises. So all that you see, from banners to websites to anything digital, pretty much comes from Big Sis Media. Well, you can get that same kind of help if you need it as well. They're there to watch over your most critical needs like a Big Sis would. Man, go ahead and check out the website, Big Sis Media, at bigsismediagroup.com, bigsismediagroup.com, and get the help that you may need in order to make all of your digital and creative design come to pass. Matter of fact, I just talked to a brother yesterday who was saying, man, he wanted to get started with a t-shirt business and all that. And I said, man, the very first place you got to start, you got to start with the design. It's the design that makes the t-shirt. It's not the t-shirt that makes the design. And I also referred him over to Big Sis Media so we can help him make his design come to life. And that's just what we do here, man. So a Black woman-owned company that you can support and you can get the help from, bigsismediagroup.com, bigsismediagroup.com. Well, my beautiful people, man, good morning to you guys, man. Go ahead and hit that like button, that share button if you care. Today we'll be, again, going through our daily motivation for African-American success, which will be our money motivation. We'll get into also The Richest Man in Babylon, which I consider to be the #1 financial book that I've ever read. We'll be going through that. We'll go through that continuously to help you guys establish a money mindset. And then we have our 52-week savings challenge today, which we're into week number 3. That's right, week number 3. Again, quick announcement, guys. Our goal, 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So please go over to YouTube, ERGJ Enterprises, hit the subscribe button. That's something that you can do for free. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out a lot. Please go ahead and do that to help a brother out. Yeah, man, ask and you shall receive. So I'm asking and I'm expecting to receive. That's right. I'm expecting to receive. Man, good morning to you, Miss Yvette Goodrich, man. How you doing? You're a church volunteer with the food pantry. Fantastic. Absolutely. Miss Vivian over at Brooklyn, thanks so much for joining. Man, my brother from another mother, Mr. Saucy, is up in the house, man. Salute to your brother. Thanks so much for joining. What's going on? Keonda Grant Taylor, greetings to you. We just got off another platform with brother Haziq Ali with his millionaire mindset call in the morning as well, man. Great rising to you guys. Billionaires, y'all know what time it is. Time to get this party started. Hey, let us know where you're connected from, what city, what state, what country we're connected from this morning. We're broadcasting here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, right here from our studios here in ERGJ Enterprise here in Decatur, Georgia. That's right, Decatur, where it's greater. Love to know just how far we are reaching from this little platform all over the world, across the World Wide Web. Let us know where you're connected from this morning. That's right, rep your city. That's right, rep your city. We're going to get started, guys, with our daily motivations for African-American success. And this is from a book written by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro, a daily motivation for African-American success. So basically, it's like a little daily devotional toward motivating us to continue to push forward, to continue to make progress each and every day. Today's title is Equal Rights. Today's title is Equal Rights. Now, I believe today is Martin Luther King's birthday, official birthday, January 15th, or recognized birthday. Not quite sure. Got to look on the calendar, but I believe that's what today is. The day represents one of those two, equal rights. And we have a quote of the day. It comes from Gwayne Stewart Bluford, who is a Black astronaut and a Black physicist. And he says this, and I quote, "Each of us is born free and equal. The tough job is to outgrow it. Each of us is born free and equal. The tough job is to outgrow it." Charleston, South Carolina, representing here this morning. Charleston, South Carolina, representing here this morning. Now, here's our motivation of the day. Let's see how Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro is going to pump us up this morning. Let's read. "In reality, all of us are born free and equal. But how many truly find meaning within these words? When one child is born into the lap of luxury with servants to attend to his every whim and fancy, how can he be said to be born equal to the child who has difficulty securing many of life's simplest needs: adequate food, shelter, and clothing? How do we account for the great inequality among men and women? The following tale may provide a clue. Good morning to you, Miss Phyllis. How are you this morning? As a preacher and a soap maker took a walk together, the soap maker turned to the preacher and asked, what good is religion? Look at all the trouble and misery within the world after thousands of years of teaching about goodness, truth, and peace, after all the prayers and sermons. If religion is so good for people, why should this be? The preacher said nothing. They continued to walk until they noticed a child playing in the gutter. Then the preacher said, look at that child. You say that soap makes people clean, but see the dirt on that little child? Of what good is soap? With all the soap in the world, that child is still filthy. I wonder how effective soap is after all. The soap maker protested the analogy and said, but preacher, that's not fair. You know soap is useless unless it is used. Exactly, replied the preacher. So it is with religion. Each of us is equal in what counts most. We have equal access to the great mind of the universe that governs all and knows all. Each of us can draw upon this life force for whatever our needs may be. But this power lies dormant unless we use it. It's useless unless it is used. It is useless unless it is used. Now, billionaires, what I find very interesting here is that we do have access, right? We have access to our creator. We have access to our father. We have access to the maker of our world. We all have equal access to this great mind that governs all and knows all. But this power lies dormant unless we use it. Unless we use it. Here's our quote. Here's our affirmation of the day, beautiful people. Here's what you want to allow to take root into your subconscious. And then you can grow and develop this thing by repeating it over and over and over again. Now, we're able to use the power of the tongue to speak life or death into our life. And so we must choose to speak life. So our affirmation today actually helped us to do that. And so repeat after me. I am the master of my fate. I am the master of my fate. I am equal to all men and women before God. I'm equal to all men and women before God. Let's repeat that again. Affirmation of the day, repeat after me. I am the master of my fate. I am equal to all men and women before God. Man, isn't this absolutely phenomenal and wonderful to realize that it's up to us to use or lose it, right? It's up to us to use it and or lose it. Let's do it one more time for the people in the back. Repeat after me our affirmation of the day. And you want to say it with some conviction this time. And simply repeat after me. I am the master of my fate. I am equal to all men and women before God. Daily Motivations for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Daily Motivation for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. What's going on, Miss Vivian, man? My family's home is in Monk's Corner, Loki, Slick, Saucy. Okay. Oh, Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, you're Goose Creek, man. We know South Carolina right around the corner from us here in Decatur. And so we just gonna make that thing happen. Now, that was Daily Motivation for African American Success. Now, what we do here on Money Motivation is this is really all about, one, getting the motivation to get started with your day, but then also to continue or to start or to begin your wealth journey, your wealth building journey. Now, I will say that this is just simply a personal decision. There is absolutely no one who is going to make you get rich. And matter of fact, no one really cares whether you do or don't. But it should matter to you with the type of life that you want to live, the type of inheritance that you might want to leave. And then I think it becomes more important as we get older and we realize we got to do something to make it happen. And so we do have what I said earlier. We'll be going through the book Richest Man in Babylon. This book here, out of all the books that I have read, I always come back to this small little book because I would consider the Bible to be the #1 financial book ever written, but most people simply won't read that whole book because it's too much. I mean, it's just way too big and way confusing to a lot of people. But in lieu of that, I would say the second greatest book ever written, in my opinion, as it relates to financial literacy, which is simply a personal decision. I want to make sure that I stress this point, that I've come to understand that we must decide to educate ourselves as it relates to money and as it relates to managing it. We can choose to complain about what's not being taught, what's not happening in the school system that we keep participating in or financing, that we don't show up to, and all that stuff. But here's the deal: at the end of the day, it's called self-education. And my mentor simply taught me this, that formal education will make you a living. And that's all the things that you learn in the universities, the colleges, to prepare you for a job and all that good stuff as well. But self-education will make you a fortune. And as you see with this shirt that I have on today, one of our monikers is simply to understand that Black wealth is simply a Black choice. It's a choice. And unfortunately, we see too many of us who are choosing to complain about what someone is not doing for us that we can actually do for ourselves. And we've proven it over a historical time frame that we can and we do it for ourselves when we choose to do it. What's going on with you, Mr. Ryan Scott? How are you, man? Sincere Newman is in the house. Thanks so much for joining. Mr. Consistent is up in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining as well. And so we're going to pick up in The Richest Man in Babylon, and we'll pick up from where we left off last week as we're talking about the man who desired gold. Now, we can say this a few different ways. The man who desired gold, or the man who wanted to get rich, the woman who wants to be rich. It requires first of all, a want, which is like a hope or a dream, a wish, but that must turn into desire. Everybody put in comments on hashtag desire. If you're a man or you're a woman who wants to be rich, put in the comments below hashtag desire, because it begins with desire. When you have a desire for something, then that causes you to then begin to morph and or transform by the renewing of your mind. And how do you renew your mind? By putting new stuff in front of it. So there are some of you who have or already ordered your straight out of money piggy bank, right? Which I'm getting these things delivered as we speak. There's some of you who have ordered your 2020 planner, right? To plan your way to success. We're getting those out as we speak. But there are many of you who have not. So desire propels people to transform by the renewing of their mind. And as they're renewing their mind, they are beginning to change their ways, whatever that may be. They start to cut out the things that are not moving them towards that which it is they desire, and they start to pick up things that will help them to acquire what they desire. But this all comes down to choice. Is it something that you truly desire? And if so, do we see the manifestation of that desire in your actions? Do we see the manifestation of that desire in what you read? Do we see the manifestation of that desire in who you hang around? Do we see the manifestation of that desire in what you talk about? Do we see the manifestation in the desire in what you watch? The manifestation is shown through what you do, through your actions. That's why it also says in the good book that faith, which we can also consider to be desire, without works, which is the actions, is dead. Which is why we see many people who want to be rich, but they're not rich because their actions or their works don't validate what they talk about out of their mouth. And therefore, the whole idea or the premise for them is dead. So here, The Richest Man in Babylon, again, this is a book written in 1926. It's a $10 book that can change the mindset or help to renew the mind of anyone who decides to read it. And the interesting thing is, everywhere that I go, I either have this book out or I recommend it to people. And roughly the numbers always prove to be about the same. Only about 5% of people will actually go get the book. And then even less percentage of those people who actually get the book will actually read the book. So what good is the book doing on your shelf or in your closet or wherever it is if you don't read it? You purchased it, you got it, so one day you'll go through it. And I guess it's a time and a season for everything. So the man who desired gold, or wanted to be rich. So we pick up where there's a brother named, let's see if I can remember his name. No, not Algamesh. Archive. And he was a scribe. That was his job. He had a day job. And it was a scribe. And he came across a man who was wealthy, who he wanted to learn from. So he said, man, I will do whatever is necessary to be under your tutelage or to become your mentee. Right? So he basically was saying, hey, I need a money coach. Right? I need someone who can help me learn what I don't know about money. How many guys would agree you might need a little money coach? You might need to be around people who can help you understand what you don't know about money. Now, here's the wonderful thing about a money coach, right? You can lean on the experience of someone else to more efficiently move faster, or to move faster towards your desire. Let me say that again. You can lean on the experience of someone else. See, there's one thing for you to go through the experience yourself, which is loss, which is, bumping your head, which is, stupid tax and all that stuff. It's another thing to lean on the experience of someone else that can help you move past a lot of the roadblocks that you would go through if you were to do it on your own. And unfortunately, we find too many people who simply won't invest in those mentors who can help them to avoid roadblocks. That's why it also says in the good book that there is safety in wise counsel. Let me ask this question to you. How many guys are out there now, you're saying, you know what, I am associated, connected, I got people who I can lean on as relates to things of money that give me wise counsel, right? And because I have this wise counsel and I use this wise counsel, or I listen to this wise counsel, or I follow this wise counsel, I'm safe. My money's safe. My inheritance to my children's children is safe. Well, if not, you might want to ask yourself, or you might want to think to yourself, I might need a money coach. Right? What's going on, Scott? Great. Thanks so much for joining. So anyway, so getting back to getting back to this. We're gonna go through this, man, because I absolutely love this book, and I'm glad we're back reading it again. This is someone who recommended that we do it. We left off where he was he worked half the night in order to get some assistance and get some wisdom from I forgot his name. His money lender, but I forgot his name. We'll just keep going forward. So the money lender went on to say that, so he asked him, so here's where we left off. He asked him, the money lender asked him, he left off, he said this, he said that he's found that his road to wealth, when he decided that a part of all that he earned was his to keep. That's how he began to build wealth. He made the decision that a part of all that he earned was his to keep. Then he continued to look at him with a glance that he could feel pierced me right, but said no more. Is that all I asked? This is Arcad. That was sufficient to change the heart of a sheep herder into a heart of a moneylender, he replied. But all I earn is mine to keep, is it not? I demanded. Far from it, he replied. Do you not pay the garment maker? Do you not pay the sandal maker? Do you not pay for the things you eat? Can you live in Babylon, or can you live in the United States? Can you live anywhere without spending? What have you to show for your earnings of the past month? What for the past year? Fool, You pay to everyone else but yourself. Now, these are harsh words that the wise man is speaking to the young buck. He says this, man, you pay to everyone else but yourself. How many guys find yourself in that position? That you think about it, you say, man, every little bit of money that I make or that I've earned over the past month, over the past year, over the past decade, over my lifetime, I pay to everyone else but myself. Don't you labor for others? He said, man, you just simply going to work for everybody else's dream. You're just simply going to work to finance everyone else's children to college. You're just simply going to work for everybody else. As well, be a slave and work for what your master gives you to eat and wear. If you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, how much would you have in 10 years? My knowledge of numbers did not forsake me, and I answered, as much as I earn in 1 year. You speak but half the truth, he retorted. Every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. Every gold piece that you save is a slave. Everybody put in console, my money is a slave. Every bit of piece that you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child, and that also can earn for you. If you would become wealthy, then what you save must earn, and its children must earn, that all may help to give you the abundance you crave. Every little bit that I save must become my slave. This is why we're starting, or we're journeying along on the 52-week savings challenge, so that we can have something that we have saved. And then we can learn how to make our money work harder for us than we work for it. But the first part is the discipline and the commitment to save, to pay ourselves first. This is something that we must do if we truly want to be wealthy. You think I cheat you for your long night's work, he continued, but I'm paying you 1,000 times over if you have the intelligence to grasp the truth that I offer. A part of all that you earn is yours to keep. It should not be less than a tenth, no matter how little you earn. It can be as much more as you can afford. Pay yourself first. Do not buy from the clothes maker and the sandal maker more than you can pay out of the rest, and still have enough for food and charity and penance to the God. So he's basically saying, hey, when you get your paycheck, or you get paid from your business or whatever, pay yourself first. Then you have what, 90% left. From the 90%, take care of your food, take care of your housing, take care of your needs, right? And then, and only then, can you look to buy the new clothes or buy the new shoes, right? Pay yourself first. This is called putting yourself on a budget. It's called putting yourself within limits as it relates to your spending. Now, I would say that as a community and pretty much around the world, we got some spending problems. They are out of a line because we probably have never been on a spending plan. Think about it for just a second. If you adopted this philosophy and you taught your children to adopt this philosophy, to pay themselves first, I'm telling you, as I continue to move out into this world and teach the next generation, you'll never be broke a day in your life. You may come across some things that have happened that may take away from your savings, but you'll always have something in reserve to take care of those mishaps that will happen simply because you disciplined yourself to pay yourself first. Now, I surely wish that this same story that I had this growing up, that someone spoke this to me and emphasized and truly demanded that I implement this philosophy. But I can't go back and change what was done for me, but I can change what will be done for the next generation, for what the lessons that they will learn. Let me ask you this, for those that are parents, have children, your mother, your father, you got the son, daughter. What are you teaching them about money? Have you given them a financial plan for life to ensure that they learn how to never be broke a day in their life? Now, surely we can't teach what we don't know, but we can learn what we don't know and begin to implement wisdom from the ages. Wealth, like a tree, grows from a tiny seed. Wealth is like a tree. It grows from a tiny seed. The first copper you save is the seed from which your tree of wealth shall grow. The sooner you plant that seed, the sooner shall the tree grow. And the more faithfully you nourish and water that tree with consistent savings. Everybody put a console hashtag consistent. With consistent savings, the sooner you bask in contentment beneath its shade. Let me read that again. Wealth, like a tree, grows from a tiny seed. The first copper you save, or the first penny you save, or the first dime you save, or the first dollar you save is the seed from which your tree of wealth shall grow. The sooner you plant that seed, the sooner that tree shall grow. The more faithfully you nourish and water that tree with consistent savings, the sooner you bask in the contentment beneath its shade. So saying, he took his tablets and went away. This is the money lender. I thought much about what he had to say to me, and it seemed reasonable. So I decided that I would try it. How many guys are watching today say, you know what, this sounds reasonable, and I'm going to try it. Now, this is where our rubber meets the road. This is where we have this thing called action. We can hear something like this, and we can say, you know what, that sounds reasonable. You know what, that's some good advice. But it's another thing to say, you know what, I'm going to do something with this advice, and I'm going to try it and see what happens. So he decided he would try it. Each time he was paid, he took one of each 10 pieces of copper and hid it away. Hid it away in something like a savings jar, right? That we have for you available as well. If you want to get one, let us know. As strange as it may seem, I was no shorter of funds than before. I noticed little difference as I managed to get along without it, but often I was tempted. As my hoard began to grow, to spend it for some of the good things the merchants displayed, brought by camels and ships from the land of the Phoenicians. But I wisely refrained. That's called delayed gratification. At 12th month after Algamesh had gone, he again returned and said to me, son, have you paid yourself no less than 1/10 of all you have earned for the past year? How many guys are saying as we go through this 52-week savings challenge, which is a year, and now we have a roadmap to starting to build wealth? Are you saying, you know what, not only am I going to do a 52-week savings challenge, we'll get to in just a second, but I'm going to adopt this philosophy to pay myself first over the next year and see what happens? He said, I answered proudly, yes, master, I have. That is good. He answered, beaming upon me, what have you done with it? I've given it to Asmar, the brickmaker, who told me he was traveling over the far seas and in Tyre, and he would buy for me the rare jewels of the Phoenicians. When he returns, we shall sell these at high prices and divide the earnings. Every fool must learn, he growled. But why trust the knowledge of a brickmaker about jewels? Would you go to the bread maker to inquire about the stars? No, by my tuna, you would go to the astrologer if you had the power to think. Your savings are gone. Youth, you have jerked your wealth tree up by the roots, but plant another. Try again. The next time, if you would have advice about jewels, go to the jewel maker. If you would know the truth about sheep, go to the herdsman. Advice is one thing that is freely given away, but watch that you take only what is worth having. He who takes advice about his savings from one who is inexperienced in such matters shall pay with his savings for proving the falsity of their opinions. Saying this, he went away. Now, what's the lesson here? So he had done his savings over the past year. He had built up some savings. And guess what happens when you begin to do this? You're going to have people who come to steal, kill, and destroy what you built up. So he was hit with an opportunity. Let's call it that. But again, the thing with opportunity is we must recognize it. We must evaluate it before we attack it. So I said, man, that sounds good, man. We're going to take this money. We're going to put this stuff out. We're going to get us some jewels. And then we're going to come back and we're going to sell them for more. The problem, though, is that he was getting advice about jewels from someone who laid bricks, which is no good. How many guys in your life you've had this happen to you? That you trusted a friend or someone like that and said, man, I got this great idea, but they have no knowledge in that area. And you're like, man, well, I got a little bit of money. Let's try it. I'm trying to build my pipeline. I'm trying to create multiple streams of income. I'm trying to make this money grow. I ain't come up with no ideas on my own. Why not try this? And then you realize after time, or you look back over that time and you were just like him. You said, you know what? My money is gone. Everybody put a guy was going to charge it to the game. How many of you guys have had a charge it to the game experience in your life? Many of us have had more than one charge it to the game experience in our life because, again, we haven't been given financial philosophy in order to direct our lives as it relates to money. We paid a lot of stupid tax over our lifetime because we have not had, many of us have not had people in our life to give us wise counsel as it relates to money. As it relates to money. Now, Alchemist, the wise man, also said that advice is freely given. I mean, everybody's giving advice nowadays, but who are you? But it's also important that you recognize or you discern, right, what's worth having. All advice is not worth having. Who are you taking this advice from? So as he, and it is what he said. For the Phoenicians are scoundrels and sold to Asma are worthless bits of glass that look like gems. But as Alchemist had bidden me, I again saved each 10th copper, for now I have formed a habit, and it was no longer difficult. So he's saying here, man, you know what? I got food. You know what? Plymouth Rock didn't land on, I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. I got to charge it to the game, but I'm going to start over. And this kind of happens, right? You start something, you make a mistake from being naive, from being young, whatever the case may be. You make a bad decision, and now you have squandered what you have built. Now the key, though, is not to stop, right? Not to linger on whatever that feeling is, this bad feeling that, man, I just got hoodwinked, I just got taken. This person stole from me, whatever the case may be. The key is, okay, I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm going to rebuild up my savings because I formed a good habit. And why not become a slave to a good habit? Why not become a slave to a good habit? So this, again, The Richest Man in Babylon, a key book that helped me to become wiser as it relates to managing money. And so my goal here is to be able to provide resources and to be able to help those who want to be helped in order to start your journey towards building wealth. Now, of course, not only do we do this, but if you're saying, you know what, you want to be a part of a group that's actually doing this on a regular basis, well, that's called the Black Billionaires Club, which you can actually choose to join as well. You're saying, man, you know what, I am super, super tired of always starting and trying to do it all on my own, and I'm finally ready to actually work with people or seek wise counsel and actually join a club so I can have some money coaching. Well, you simply go to the Black Billionaires Club and decide to join the club. I'll be making some differences, some changes here, but I'll pop that up on the screen for you guys. But you simply go to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. When you get there, you click on join the club and you can read through all the different benefits to being a part of the club. And one of those is actually you get one-on-one coaching on a monthly basis to help keep you on track. We also have started our accountability, our manifestation meetings, which we happen every week as well. So you get monthly assistance, you can get weekly assistance, because here's the deal, guys. Here's what I've learned, that if you really could do it by yourself, it would already be done. And you actually could do it by yourself. But the problem is, it's not about what you start, it's about what you finish. And most people simply don't finish because they run out of gas, because they run it all alone, right? This is why the tortoise beats the hare all the time. The hare starts out fast. He's the fastest on the block, but he runs himself out. He grows weary. While there's a steady as you go, there's a build wealth over time. There's a marathon that one person is running, and there is a sprint that the other is running. And the marathon wins the race every time. So you simply go to the Black Billionaires Club and decide that, you know what, this is the year that I'm going to stop trying to do it all by myself. This is the year where we make the change. This is the year where we join a group that can actually help us build wealth. And it first begins by building ourselves to begin to understand financial philosophy. And I'm willing to listen to wise counsel. I'm willing to listen to wise counsel. Totally a choice that you and I can make. As I mentioned to you already, Black wealth is a Black choice. And until you and I decide or make that decision or choose, then we're simply are also just choosing to be where we are. Whether that's wealthy, whether that's rich, whether that's poor, it's still a choice. Well, y'all know what time it is, man. I want to say a shout out to our winners. We have some winners here for our bank challenge here, guys. So we have the straight out of money banks that are available. If you're saying, you know what, I don't have a piggy bank, I don't have something to to do this challenge with, well, we do have them available for you here. You can pick you up one. It's only I think $25 for you to be for us to get you a straight out of money bank account, all glass. And this basically is saying, hey, you know what? If I get to a point where I ain't got nothing left up in here, that means I'm straight out of money. So, but this also is helping you say, you know what? I'm going to commit to building wealth. I'm going to commit to sowing the seeds. I'm going to commit to planting the seeds to build my wealth tree. And it starts in 2020, or it continues in 2020. With that being said, guys, it is time for our 52-week savings challenge with week number 3. So y'all know what time it is. It's the Save Train. And I'm your conductor, Mr. Save-A-Lot. And we are here with week number 3 of our 52-week savings challenge, which simply says this, that each week, according to the week, we are going to put that amount of money into our savings container. So I have my own little bank account here, and it's week 3. So I'm going to put $3 into my savings account. I'm just saying, you know what? We're going to build the habit. We're going to create the habit to building wealth, and that starts with planting seeds. And that seed is going to go into my savings account, and then I'm going to turn my savings into my slave. I'm going to study, and I'm going to learn how to make the money that I put into my savings work for me. And then as I do that, I create habits. And I just continually do it over and over and over again, rinse and repeat. And because my money does not die, it's like baby kids, it multiplies. So all this year, Mr. Save-A-Lot is going to be teaching how to manage and how to multiply money. How to manage and how to multiply money. So the first step in managing is to adopt the philosophy that a part of all that I earn is mine to keep. And so that's exactly what I'm doing here. A part, my $3 little of what I earned is mine to keep. And so I'm going to pay myself first $1, $2, $3. And we are going to put that into our savings container. And boom, we are good to go with our 52-week saving challenge. Week 3 is now complete. And so you too can follow along with us. It's something that we're doing, the Black Billionaires Club, that I'm offering to the public just to show y'all, hey, you know what? It's called being consistent. Each and every week I'll show up. Each and every week you'll see someone doing it. Each and every week you can decide to hop on a train as well, because it's the Save Train, and we're planting the seeds to our wealth tree. Well, my beautiful people, the Save Train just welcomes you as we say, all aboard. All right, my beautiful people, man, this is New Black Wall Street. I'm your host, ERGJ, man. Hopefully you had a wonderful time this morning for our money motivation. We read through the daily motivations for African-American success to get us going. Also, the book that I recommend as a #1 financial book, a $10 book that can change the way that you think, that can transform your mentality, that can help give you a sound financial philosophy, The Richest Man in Babylon, written by Mr. George S. Clason back in 1926. We'll continue to go through this book each and every week on Wednesdays, which is the beginning, right? So this is the 15th. So you had the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th. And each and every week, we'll go through this for 52 weeks. Now, I'm sure we'll finish this book before 52 weeks. I'm not quite sure. But nonetheless, man, welcome to the Save Train. Week number 3 is now complete. How many of you guys have completed or completing week number 3 of your savings challenge? How many of you guys are on the train? If you're on the Save Train, go ahead and put in the comments below, choo-choo. I just want to know who's on the Save Train with us this morning. If you're on the Save Train, go ahead and put in the comments below, choo-choo. That's right. Choo-choo. That's right, man, that you're on the Save Train. Well, my beautiful people, I want to say thanks so much for tuning in with us today. And I want you to remember this, that it takes a village. And it starts with us. Let's build wealth. Because black wealth is a black choice as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ hits the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of the new Black Wall Street. The new Black Wall Street.